Most of the men I work with start at over 100 kilos, and the goal is almost always the same, is to get below 90. Not because it's some random made up number, it's because they know they feel comfortable and confident in their clothes at under 90 kilos. Now, before they start with me, they've almost always tried one of these three things. And the first thing is cardio only. So going into the gym, doing 20 minutes on the treadmill, 20 minutes on the bike, and then leaving. Now, if you go from doing nothing to doing a little bit of cardio, it will work at the start, but you'll plateau, you'll get bored, and then you'll stop. And the second thing I see, and this is the most common, is the crash dieting. Because there's so many variations of it. You've got keto, low carb, eating under 1,000 calories a day. Now, while this will work, you'll lose a lot of weight fast, but what will happen is you'll start to feel like crap, you'll have no energy, you'll stop, and then you'll put all the weight back on because you haven't learned any new lifestyle habits to help you maintain your new weight loss. Plus, all the weight you lose at the start is mostly water and glycogen anyway, so it's not even fat loss. The third thing I see, and this isn't the worst one, but you just go into the gym and you train as hard as you can. And whether that's just cardio or lifting weights, but you don't have any food structure outside of it, and you don't have any movement structure outside, so you end up still being overweight. But the only positive from this is if you are lifting heavy weights, you might be able to potentially gain some muscle, and you'll also learn lifting technique, which can come into play when you actually start to get your food structure in place. If any of this sounds familiar, you know it don't work, therefore you need a new approach. And these four things are going to help you get closer to 90 kilos in under 12 weeks. And the first one being is you need to be consistent, not perfect. Now, everyone says consistency is key, but what does that mean? On the staple method, what we're looking for is the 80-20 rule. So we're looking for you to be consistently okay, not trying to strive for perfection, because when you stick to perfection, you get stuck in a box, you're going to feel rigid, you're going to feel restricted, and therefore you might have a blowout weekend, which will lead to a blowout week, which will lead you to stopping your program entirely. So being consistently okay means you can have a lot of good consistent weeks under your belt, because you're going to be socializing on the weekend, eating food that you actually enjoy, and then when Monday comes back around, you're on your plan and you can continue doing that for weeks on end, therefore increasing your likelihood of getting closer to 90 kilos. And the second thing is your intentions. Rather than look at the whole 6-month or the 12-month time scale, I want you to start on the first Monday of every month and just get that locked in. So how many steps are you going to do on that Monday? Are you going to go to the gym? How many meals on that Monday are going to be of high protein content? As soon as you can tick off that win on Monday, how many more days can you do within that first week of the month? And then when you get to the end of the week, you tick it off as a win, and then you let that momentum snowball into the rest of the month. And you do that every single month, because it's the small wins that add up to the big transformation at the end. And the third thing is focusing on structure, not restriction throughout the week. So Monday to Friday, a good tip for you to do is to plan your meals ahead of time and then work backwards for there. So let's say you're going to eat between 2,000 and 2,100 calories a day in order to be in a deficit, right? So you're going to choose your dinner. That's 700 calories. Then you know you're going to want some dessert after, so that's another 400. So that's 1,100 calories out of your 2,100 done. So you've got 1,000 left for the rest of the day. Let's say your lunch is 600 and your breakfast is 300. Then you've got 100 calories for your teas and coffees throughout the day. And you know you're going to be on track if you follow that structure Monday to Friday. And then when the weekends come about, there's going to be no restrictions. We want you to aim for around the 2,100, but of foods that you actually enjoy eating. Maybe have a few beers, but come in and around the same calorie target. And then when Monday comes back around, you go back to your structured eating, and on the weekends, you're free and you have no restrictions. Again, it ties into number one, because you're going to be able to be way more consistent with that approach rather than a rigid diet plan. And the fourth one, which is a non-negotiable, is you have to lift heavy. What we don't want to happen is we start at 100 kilos and we end up at 85 kilos, but we look the exact same as we did. And the only way that's going to happen is if you don't lift any weights, because training and lifting heavy weights signifies to your body that you want to retain as much muscle mass as possible. So non-negotiable, strength training 3 times a week. And then I would use some cardio, but towards the end of your plan where we need to accelerate fat loss, or use it to mix up your training plan when things start to plateau. So if you want the exact blueprint that I give to my clients to allow them to lose over 10 kilos in the first 12 weeks on the staple method, just DM me the word blueprint and I'll send it straight over.